Welcome. My name is Christine Richards, and I'm the Research Director at Zpryme. And we're really excited to have with us today Rob Caldwell, who is the Senior Vice President for Distributed Energy Resources at Duke Energy. So welcome, Rob.
Thank you. It's great to be here.
So we heard that you started a new role here with being the Senior Vice President for Distributed Energy Resources. Right. Could you talk a little bit about that? What are some of the first steps that you've taken in the role?
Okay, so I think it was a recognition by Duke that the world is changing. Mm-hmm. And so I think that Lynn Good set out and had a vision that we need to be thinking about distributed energy resources broadly as an integrated portfolio, and we probably need to be spending some time thinking about that. Mm-hmm. So our group was formed. We started with our regulated renewable generation compliance, and then we've grown into how do we think about the future? How should Duke think about the future in a new distributed energy world with a new clean tech focus? So it's been about 3 or 4 months now in its current configuration, and it's been very exciting.
Excellent. Now, you've been on the job for 3 or 4 months in this role. What's the most surprising thing that you've learned so far?
Well, again, change is hard for people.
Yeah.
And I guess that shouldn't be a surprise, but it always surprises me. And so we're thinking about things that may happen 5 and 10 and 15 years from now, and the need to be doing it now, to be addressing it, to be doing some testing, to be fleshing out, to be doing the research. And I think the hardest thing, or the most difficult thing, is to recognize how we've been doing it the same way for 100 years, and we're really comfortable doing that. Mm-hmm. And the next, I don't think 5 or 10 or 20 years is going to be that close to what we've done in the last 100. I think there's be a lot of that, but I think there'll be a lot more change coming.
Yeah, so a lot of changes coming in the next several years and decades. I mean, what do you see as some of the most immediate opportunities here in 2015 for distributed energy resources?
Well, distributed energy resources are going to continue to grow. We are seeing a significant increase in the pace of interest from customers in distributed energy resources. One of the questions today was, what about big companies that want to have a more clean energy portfolio? Yeah. And we're working with those customers to provide that. So in the short term, it's really making sure that we can understand what our customers' needs are, and then work with them, and then work with our regulators to put programs and products in place so we can meet those needs. But I think you're going to see a continued increase in the next couple of years.
Okay. And now, I mean, there are a lot of big opportunities out there, but what are some of the challenges you're anticipating in 2015?
Well, the challenges are, even though, so you've got the end of the North Carolina state tax credit is set to expire at the end of 15.
Yeah.
So one of the challenges for 15 is we're going to see a significant increase, I think, in the number of projects that are trying to get done by the end of 15 to qualify. So there's a ramp up of workload coming, and we can see it already, a significant amount of interest there. So that's going to be one of the challenges, as to how do we manage that workload. At the same time, one of the challenges is that solar technology prices have come down, but they're still more expensive than our traditional generation portfolio. And so one of the challenges we still keep balancing is the customer's desire for clean and green energy against the cost, which is a bit of a challenge. Now, I think over time, we're seeing those things come more into a line, but right now that's a 15 challenge still.
Yeah, definitely. And what are you seeing more broadly, just as the last question, on the horizon for Duke Energy in 2015? What are some things you should keep an eye out for?
Well, again, I think you're going to see Duke be much more actively involved in other large-scale utility projects. Mm-hmm. Large-scale solar has tremendous economies of scale. It's great for Duke to own that so we can optimize it and create the most value from those resources. So I think stay tuned to see more investment by Duke. In our jurisdictions, we're working with policymakers. So in South Carolina, we've got a docket going in terms of addressing the value of solar and the value of the grid. And so we expect to get some clarification in South Carolina. So lots of activity on the policy front, and stay tuned for some more Duke investment announcements.
Excellent. Well, thank you for joining us, Rob.
It's my pleasure. Thanks for being here.